success is community success. So really grateful. Thank you. We're going to go, I think, gentleman next was in the, thank you so much, and really grateful that you're here.
Thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, and my deepest appreciation for the opportunity to be here. I'm a game services supervisor in LA County, and I have been doing that for about 15 years.
Can you just say your first and last?
Yes, my name is Frank Pineda.
Frank, thank you so much.
And I just wanted to give a brief snippet of what it was to be a worker in 2004. And I had an opportunity to make a deep impact on the life of a participant similar to what Michelle went through. And she was a homeless individual just like she was, living out of her car. Her car broke down. I had the resources and the time to be able to put her in touch with these resources. She got her car fixed. I was able to put her in touch with a program that she went to school and graduated in the top 2 out of 500 in her class, got a job at Kaiser. A few months later, I see her, and who's serving me at Kaiser? My participant. And I use that to this day as fuel, you know, because what we do is very difficult, especially when the direction isn't very clear. And so I use that to see that as public servants, which we all are, we have such a powerful impact on so many lives, so many families. And I don't want us to lose sight of that, you know, lose sight of that. You know, I don't want the social to be taken out of public social services. That is what we're here for. We were able to track cases back then when we had a lower case count and see if our participants were indeed retaining their jobs. We were able to tell them, you know, what do you need? How can we help you retain that job? How can we help you get into that career ladder so that you don't have just a base level job so that in a month or two you're back in CalWorks, you know, having to depend on these services. I mean, that's what the program was all about, and we need to get back to that. Thank you.
Pineda, thank you so much. We're grateful that you're here, and I really appreciate your words. Thank you so much. Go to the gentleman here, and then we'll finish with the lady, please. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Chair McGuire, as well as Chairwoman Mitchell. I really want to, Brian Allison, on behalf of the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees. We represent a number of the county eligibility workers as well, but we also, on behalf of the 176,000 members that we represent, and more so the communities that they come from, it's high time for us to take a look at this, the maximum family grant rule. It keeps a number, as you've heard, of our communities and children in poverty, and it really has a detrimental impact on the positive outcomes, not only for those children, but for our entire state. And if we want to be serious about tackling the issue of poverty, we need to take a first step by taking a look at that issue. So I want to thank Chairwoman Mitchell for her work for a number of years now looking to address that issue. But I believe that this is something I believe we can accomplish this legislative session as well as the budget session. So thank you so much for your time.
And thank you so much for being here today. It's good to see you. And good afternoon, good evening.
Good evening.
My goodness, and thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me here. My name is Elizabeth Aguilar. I'm a game services worker for LA County Department of Public Social Services. I am currently handling the family stabilization caseload at my office. And I just want to say that I believe that the family stabilization is heading towards the right direction of how we should handle all of our cases. I've had the experience of coming into the GAIN program about 8 years ago where cases were manageable. I was able to make contact with the clients regularly, refer them to all of the services that they needed, to the recession where our cases more than doubled, almost tripled, to where it became more about just staying above water. And now having the opportunity to work on the family stabilization program where we address not only the needs of the clients, but the family, I just think that this is a remarkable thing, and we should find a way to invest in our workforce so that we can do this across the board for all families, because the reason that we are here is for the children. And if we don't start including them across the board, as family stabilization does, then we're again just going back to supporting the parent, helping them just find a basic job, and not supporting the whole family. I have an experience right now with a client that she came into the program. She has a bachelor's degree, a single mother who found herself unemployed, homeless, facing multiple upcoming court dates, dealing with divorce, custody, and bankruptcy. In addition to this, of course, being a family unit going through the crisis, the child was having issues at school and just behavioral outbursts. Through the implementation of the Family Stabilization Program, I was able to connect her, invest the time, and call local agencies, set her up with housing assistance, and partner up with the local school for services for her child. Prior to the Family Stabilization Program, she wouldn't have met an exemption. She wouldn't have been an active component. She would have been one of those cases that fell through the cracks. And so I think really considering not making family stabilization just a 6-month thing, but making it more where we address this with all of our clients. And yeah, and that's it.
Thank you so much, and really appreciate you, Ms. Aguilar, being here today and for sticking with us as well. I know it's been a long afternoon, so we're grateful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Before we go to closing comments, and we'll start with Chairwoman Mitchell, we'd like to see if there's anyone else that would like to be able to address the committee here today. All right, we're going to be closing the public comment portion. I'm going to turn it over to the Chairwoman, Senator Mitchell, and again, thank her for her amazing work for these many years, and say how grateful I am to have been able to partner with her on this committee hearing today.
I appreciate you, sir. And when I look at the Welfare Directors Association chart, I don't feel very successful in my efforts, but I'm going to keep on trucking. I want to thank everyone who participated today, of course, the director for staying here and having the full experience. I appreciate you for doing that always. You know, the reality is we as legislators and our staff don't live this program every day, so this is a unique opportunity we have to take data and reports from whatever the source that we read and hear real-life application, to hear from legal services about whatever the design of the program is. People aren't being directed as, you know, we envision here under the dome in terms of what a program to impact real people's lives should look like. Thanks to Ms. Schott for giving us the national perspective. And again, all of you who are direct service providers. And of course to Michelle, you know, I have new colleagues, Mr. McGuire, Mr. Stone, and in this context, we don't know each other's personal stories. And for someone to be willing to step up and tell such a personal, painful, recollection, particularly as a parent, about a circumstance you find yourself in and the best you can do for your family is really, really compelling. And it's important that she know that it was not lost on us, that that's the kind of data and information that we as humans, as parents ourselves, as family members, as community members, must incorporate into our decision-making, given the role we play on behalf of California residents every day. And that's why these hearings are long. That's why these hearings are important. And we appreciate all of you taking time out of your day, stepping away from your work to come and be a part of the process of educating us as policymakers and staff on these critical issues. So thank you for today's participation. It was very helpful, and it will inform our ongoing deliberations. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you so much, Chairwoman, and again, appreciate the ability to be able to come together today with you. Thank you. I too want to say thank you to all of our panelists for taking the time, and in particular the preparation that it took all of you in your busy lives to be able to prepare for this hearing. Very grateful to all of you who are here and provided comments today. Can't tell you how grateful we are that you stuck through the hearing and then also provided your insight as you are on the ground implementing programs. I want to also say thank you to Director Lightbourne. In my time here starting in December, the director has made himself available constantly, and he has a few things on his plate. So do appreciate that tremendously, and I know that there are, just being candid, there are challenges that he inherited as well coming into the role, and know that this is one of them. And finally, I think that focusing on our state's vulnerable won't get the headlines, but it's frankly the most important work that we should be doing. And we can debate and discuss how much we should be funding those who have the most significant challenges. But I think the bottom line is we can do more, understand that there are going to be fiscal constraints, but when we take a look at the dollars that we spend upstream, the dollars that we spend early on versus those that we're going to have to spend later on in life, we know the best investment we can make in individuals and residents in the state of California, or frankly for taxpayers, is investing early and often. And it comes down to a program like CalWorks, in particular our Welfare to Work program as well. I think that when we take a look at the rollout, I know this is an issue that both the chairwoman and myself are going to be focusing on heavily over the coming months. And I know that having many conversations with the director, which I know he's really excited about here in the months to come. And then I think the other piece is continue focus on the implementation of family stabilization across the state. And that has been a challenge, being candid, because of the inconsistent nature. I mean, I think that is what we also need to be moving forward with together. And I think that we also heard of a series of items that of additional investments that were brought forward today by many of the panelists, and we do hear you on that. We will both be keeping in touch with you, and again, we really appreciate all of you taking the time to be here today with us and look forward to working with you in the months to come. We're now going to be adjourning the hearing and hope you have a wonderful rest of the week. Thank you so much.